Look who's here, everybody. His new movie, Color Out of Space, is going to be in theaters near you this very Friday. It debuted to much critical acclaim at the Toronto Film Festival. Stars Nicolas Cage, Jolie Richardson, and this man, Tommy Chong. Good to see you, Tommy.
Good to see you.
You got it. So first things first. All right. I mean, I could go back to when I first saw you, but my children are 11, 8, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
They're watching The Masked Singer. They're watching The Masked Singer, and they are seeing the pineapple sing.
Yeah.
Off comes the pineapple lid. It's Tommy Chong.
Yeah.
My kids go crazy. They had no idea who you were, to be very honest with you.
Oh, that's good.
But I'm not. Well, I mean, I don't know how you work with 11, 8, and 6-year-olds.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like a walking drug test. If the kid knows who I am, it's like, you better go check his room.
So I didn't have to check their rooms.
Oh, that's good, man.
But, man, they now know who you are now.
Sure.
What was that? How'd you get hooked up with Masked Singer? They just reached out?
Richard Stanley, the director.
Okay.
He was a big fan.
Yeah.
Back in the day. And I don't know, there's something cosmic going on right now.
Okay.
And I've been in a few, Silent Bob reboot. I was in that for a minute.
Okay.
And this one here, it was a fun job for me.
So then were you the one who chose the pineapple as your
the pineapple, yeah. Well, I was one of the oldest guys to make Dancing with the Stars.
Uh-huh.
They kept me on way past when I should have been gone. And I think that because I guess TV likes me, and so the pineapple people or the Masked Singer people, said he'd be perfect, and I was perfect because I got kicked off right away. Whew.
So you got
thank God
you got done.
Yeah,
okay.
Because it was a terrible experience because when you're a Masked Singer, no one can know who you are,
right?
And so I felt like Hannibal Lecter. They would put stuff on me and sit me in an isolated room. I'd sit there, wait for my turn to get out there. No one could talk to me.
Right.
And I'd do my little singing, and then that was it.
And then they came and got you.
It was the worst experience.
Oh, come on. My kids can't get enough of it.
I know. The performance part was nice.
Right, was troubling.
It was a surprise.
So see, now I'm glad they didn't ask why you were the pineapple.
Exactly.
Because I honestly, I honestly thought that was a nice little wink and a nod that you were a pineapple, Tommy.
Well, they let me pick out the costume.
Okay.
Yeah, and of all the costumes, I sure didn't want to be a bird or all that other stuff. With all that stuff you got to deal with,
right.
And I looked at the pineapple and I said, and it had nice abs.
So it worked.
So okay.
I guess Roach wasn't a choice, right?
No, it was not.
Oh, man. But again, my kids can't get enough of it. I'm sure that was...
And I was also on Zootopia, too. So that's another kid movie where I was a yak.
You were the yak.
Yeah.
In Zootopia.
And did the Om.
That's right. Okay, now I remember that.
Oh, but Dancing with the Stars was crazy because I was in Century City going somewhere, and all of a sudden a gaggle of about 3 or 4 9, 10-year-old girls saw me and started screaming.
You're Tommy Chong.
Yeah, you were on Dancing with the Stars.
So which one did you enjoy dancing more than the singing part of it, or what?
Both was hell.
A little too much reality for you?
I'm 70. I was 6 at the time, man.
Right.
I was older than Lenny. And I'm doing the quick step.
So you could say to Lenny, you come out here and try it, Lenny.
No, he did. And
okay.
I was so tired, I couldn't even talk. You know how they talk to you in
right,
between
sure,
things?
Exactly.
I went through there, they say, what do you think? And I go, good. No, it was, oh man, 7 hours a day for what, 2 months?
Yeah, it's serious. It is serious workout.
Oh.
I know, right?
I mean, I had a dance with all these beautiful women. It was hell.
Right. Tommy Chong here on the Rich Eisen Show. So you trended on Twitter over the weekend, and I saw it. I'm like, oh, gosh. Because
Yeah, I
when
know.
people trend on Twitter, it's not usually a good thing.
Everybody goes, oh, did you die?
Did you really get that from people? Oh, my God. Well,
They were so scared.
I guess if you send out a text to somebody, did you die, and it comes back red, that's a good thing. You know,
Yeah.
it's delivered in red. That's a good thing. But you were trending because they showed you on the screen at the UFC fight.
Yeah.
And it's not just your popularity, too, Tommy, but it was also there's a guy right behind you with his shirt wide open right around the belly button as you're saying hello in your own unique way.
And
did you have any idea that was going on behind you, Tommy?
No idea.
Oh my gosh.
Have you not seen this, Chris?
I've not seen this.
Oh, everybody's got to get to a television or check this out later on. Or just
goodness.
Or Google Tommy Chong, because right now it's
It looks like a mangina.
do a show long enough, and you'll get to pretty much every word. You know what? It is an interesting selection going on right behind you.
Wow.
There was-
Well, what do you expect at a UFC fight?
I don't know. Somebody to have a shirt that buttons up properly, maybe.
No, not.
Was that your first UFC fight, or do you go to many of them, or is that your first?
No, that's actually the first for a long. Yeah.
Okay.
First one.
How'd you wind up there? Did somebody take you? or
Dana
what?
White, my social media guy Tony, he sent a picture into Dana saying that I'm a big fan, and Dana
Right.
White's a big fan, so he sent us tickets and he got us there.
Wow. I mean, well, you saw one of the greatest showmen, period, from the sport,
the
or
fighter.
maybe on the planet right now, in Conor McGregor.
The White Tyson. Isn't
Well, he is beating the crap out of people really fast.
it? And you know why? Because that training is so intense. It takes so much pain and time and effort.
Right.
That the only thing you want to do after training is take it out on somebody.
I bet so. I
You
bet
made
so.
me train all this time. Now,
Right.
when I get you in the ring, I'm gonna, and that's what he did.
Have you ever done martial arts, or what?
Oh
do you-
yeah.
Okay.
I'm a Canadian. Man, come on.
So what's the connection between martial arts and Canada?
Well, you fight in Canada. You know, if you have a disagreement, at least it used to be like
Right.
in school.
Right.
You know, it didn't matter if teachers, principal, or anything there. I'll meet you after school, buddy, and you better be there.
Oh, I don't know. I thought Canadians are more lovers than fighters.
Oh no! Back in the day, well, look at hockey. That's our national game.
Right.
And it wasn't until a bunch of years ago where
Right.
goalies started wearing masks.
Right, sure.
They used to stop the puck with their face.
Right.
That's how tough Canadians are. You know.
Tommy Chong here on the Rich Eisen Show. Before we get to Color Out of Space, I'd love to play a game called Celebrity True or False, where there are some
Okay.
things that we have read and articles about you, and you come out and you let me know if these are true or false. So Tommy Chong, hit it right there. Mike Del Tufo.
Celebrity True or False.
You can't handle the truth.
All right, yeah, Jack Nicholson's going to be part of this whole conversation shortly. Celebrity True or False with Tommy Chong. First up, you became friends with Jordan Belfort because you met him in federal prison. You were both cube mates where you told him to write a book, and that book became The Wolf of Wall Street.
That's true.
Get out of here.
Yep.
So you're just sitting around with him one day saying, you know what, Jordan, you should write a
No,
story.
I was writing my book.
Okay.
And Jordan would be playing tennis. You know, it was a federal prison.
Yes.
And so he would be have a day in tennis, and he'd come off the tennis court and come into our little cubicle, and
Right.
I'd be writing. And Jordan finally said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm writing my book, my memoirs, The I Chong." And so Jordan says, "Oh, I'm going to write." And so he sat down and in a couple of days, he wrote something, handed it to me. And because I'd known Jordan long enough to know that he's a bona fide genius, without doubt. Just a little criminal, but genius.
Right.
And so he handed me what he wrote, and I was very honest with him. You can be honest with geniuses. Mm-hmm. And I read it, and I said, "Nah, you haven't written anything," man. I handed it back to him. He said, "What do you mean?" Because what he did, he really copied Tom Wolfe, Bonfires of the Vanity.
Right.
And he's got this mind, so he just copied Tom. And so then he got a little angry with me. He says, what do you suggest? I says, write the stories that you've been telling me every night. Because every night, just before we go to sleep, he'd tell me an episode that he had in his life, which were incredible. And then I told him, you got to follow the most of rule. And he says, what's that? I says, well, if you're going to be high, be the highest. If you're going to be bad, be the baddest. Because that's what you want to see on a film. You don't want to see something ordinary. You want to see something extraordinary. And so he didn't have to do much stretching. In fact, the stories he told me that never made the movie were, it's another movie. I mean, his life was so incredible. Just jam-packed with everything. That scene about him doing quaaludes and he couldn't crawl down to his car. He had to roll down to his car and then drive after that.
So the first editor of The Wolf of Wall Street was Tommy Chong and rejected the manuscript in its first form.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable. Next one. The car your character drove at the beginning of Up in Smoke belonged to Jack Nicholson.
That's right. The little Volkswagen.
How does that come to be?
Lou Adler, the director.
Yes.
And producer, and Jack are best friends.
I think they still go to Laker games together,
and so,
right?
Yeah.
That's who's sitting next to Jack all the time,
right? Cleaning Jack up once in a while. And when you get a certain age, you got to have a friend that has to dab get the little stuff off your schmutz off your beard.
Good use of schmutz.
Yeah.
So that's how it came to be?
No, what happened, we needed a car, and so Jack said, hey, I got a Volkswagen, use that. And so we had to change the grill of the Volkswagen to a Rolls Royce grill. And that was the gag,
How did you first meet Cheech? How did you guys ever come across?
I met him up in Canada. He was dodging the draft, and I was running like a safe house. It was a strip joint, but it kind of was like a safe house too. For Mexicans,
And then, so how did you decide, hey, let's team up?
Cheech was, first of all, I had a improvisational comedy troupe with the strippers, and then.
So what? You had an improvisational comedy troupe with strippers?
Somehow, see, in Canada, this again is Canada. I took over another Fairling club.
Okay.
And I put in Vancouver's first strip joint. And then when I got fired from Motown, I ended up being with nothing to do, so I'd work the lights at the strip joint. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And then I decided that I should make an improv group out of the girls and the guys that were working there, and which I did. And then I became part of the act.
And then Cheech walks in the door?
No, and then we needed a straight man. We had a straight man that his wife didn't know what he was doing. It was a real actor.
Yeah.
And so we made the front page of the news with the strippers and their titties over top of Rick's face. And the wife said, okay, you're out of here. And then a mutual friend who Cheech worked for said, hey, I got a guy that's really funny. And so you brought down Cheech.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
And then the last one, you appeared in the cult classic Foxy Brown, uncredited as pilot. Is that a truer story? Were you in Foxy Brown or you were not?
No.
It's a false. We found a celebrity false.
Oh.
Take it off his IMDb page.
Who's Foxy Brown?
The great Foxy Brown. The Pam Grier.
Oh.
I just had a moment with Tommy Chong. This is fantastic.
That was before my time.
Let's talk about Color Out of Space, sir. Opens in theaters this Friday, where you play an individual that is right in the middle of this sci-fi horror film. What did you like about this film?
I liked the character. I loved the character. It's like, Sierra... what's it? The old John Ford.
Sure.
Yeah, the
grizzled guy. Yeah.
Yeah, the old guy. I liked playing that guy. That was fun.
Sure.
Was fun. I loved Hal Stanley, the director. I had no idea what the movie was about or anything. I heard something about Nick Cage being in it, but then when I got there, they wanted me to play an old hermit, and I'm on my way there.
You're on your way there. Come on. What's Nick
In real
Cage
life.
like, man?
What's that?
Nick Cage, what's he like?
I never met him. I mean, I've met him before, but not in the movie.
Oh, okay.
We never had any scenes together.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
But you're in it with Nick Cage.
Yep.
It's sci-fi horror film, 87% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. You can check it out in theaters coming out this Friday. Color Out of Space. It's based on the short story by H.P. Lovecraft, and it's a sci-fi horror film in every way, shape, and form.
Yeah.
Tommy Chong, thank you for coming on the show,
thank
man.
you for having me.
This is a
That
total
was
blast.
nice.
I can't wait to show a picture of me and you to my kids later on. I did not tell them that the pineapple from Masked Singer's on the Rich Eisen show. It'll be
That's cool,
fantastic.
man.
At Tommy Chong on Twitter, at Hey Tommy Chong on Instagram.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.